Okay, today we're going to go green. We're going to make a green smoothie today. This smoothie has broccoli in it, frozen broccoli, frozen spinach, frozen bananas, and of course my famous date paste, and apple juice. I could go into details of what broccoli is good for and spinach, but you can figure that out. You can Google that information. But let's get to it. I have about 2 cups here of frozen broccoli. I'll put in the frozen bananas. For this recipe, greens are kind of strong, so I'm going to use about 1.5 bananas for this recipe, and of course the date paste. So there you go, 1.5 bananas. My frozen bananas, they're kind of a strain on the blender, so when I pour the apple juice, I'll let it sit for a minute before I blend it. Okay, now the date paste. This is bigger than a tablespoon. It's a slightly bigger spoon, so I'm putting in 2 good heaping spoons of the date paste. So the date paste and bananas are really good. They're a sweet. Not only are they a good sweetener, but they're also high in potassium, which is good for you. And it makes a nice mix with the greens. And I put my own special vitamin powder in there. That's not part of the recipe, but I always add vitamins to my smoothies. Vitamin C and the amino acids proline and lysine. I do that for my arteries. But you can put whatever you want in smoothies. You don't have to put anything. This tastes really good just by itself. And this is approximately, of the frozen spinach, this is approximately 2 cups, I think. Approximately. Let's see, let's measure it. Oh, it's a little messy. Yeah, packed down it's 2 cups, so let me just dump it in there. Now it looks like a lot. But when we blend this, the spinach is going to kind of, it takes up a lot of volume, but once you blend it, you realize there's not a lot there. So we have 2 cups of each. Set this aside. Put the frozen stuff away here, so it stays frozen. I don't want it to thaw out and refreeze. Okay. And the apple juice. Now, with these green smoothies, I find like if I'm making a berry smoothie or using a denser fruit or vegetables, or like my beet berry blast where I use beets, which by the way are very good for you. I find that you pour the apple juice to maybe just a little bit above the fruit and the vegetables, but that's a denser mix, and it comes out good. But with this green smoothie, I find if you cover everything too much, then it gets to be too thin, because the broccoli is kind of airy, or it's not as dense, and the same thing with the spinach. The bananas are a little more dense, but you have to be careful not to put too much liquid, too much apple juice, or in this recipe. And if it ends up being too thick, then you can always add more juice later. So let's give it a shot with what I have here. A lot of times I don't even measure. I'm just doing it for the sake of video to give you an idea of how much ingredients to use for the smoothies. Okay. Now when this blends up, I'm letting it sit as I talk a little bit so the bananas will soften. As this thing blends, it takes about 2 minutes to get a really good blend on most of the smoothies I make. If you're into like the Vitamix or the more expensive blenders, they have you to really break down the food and get the most nutrients out of the food. They have you blend it at sometimes 2, 3, 4 minutes. It depends on what you're making. If you want to make soup with those blenders, they'll blend it. The friction they cause will actually heat the food up. But for the sake of this particular recipe, maybe maybe 2 minutes max, a minute and a half. But as it's blending, I'm going to show it on camera. I'm not going to show you the whole blending process because it's noisy. But in the beginning, when it starts mixing good, you're going to see green specks mixed in with the smoothie. And as it blends more and more, you'll know that after around a minute and a half to 2 minutes that it's done when those green specks are gone. That means the blender's really broken down the food good. And that's important when you're making the smoothies, to get the most nutrients out of the food, the vegetables, fruits, whatever you're blending. You want to blend it enough to really break it down. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start on a low setting and build as I usually do, so it doesn't overload the smoothie. Go to stir, mix, liquefy. See the green specks? Eventually that's going to go away. I'm going to add a little more juice to this. It is a little on the thick side. But not much. It won't take much. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm going to let it blend. That's enough. You see how the green specks are gone? So that's a nice blend. And well, let's try it out. I got my thermos, so I'm going to fill the thermos too. But let's see how it came out. Pretty simple to make. That was a very simple, fast smoothie. Really healthy, and it's got a nice, pretty green color to it. I like that, and it really tastes good. It's really refreshing. Yeah, it came out good. Anyways, that's how you make my green smoothie. What do I call it? Going Green. It's my Going Green smoothie. Anyways, thanks for watching.